The only problem I ever had with the Bengals, uh, was contract problems, and that's normal. That's natural for an athlete of my caliber. You know what I'm saying? To make all pro that many times and not be compensated what I was worth. And that was my only take there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wanted to stay with the Bengals. All they had to do was pay me. I would have stayed there forever. You understand me? And, I hear people sometimes say that I wasn't coachable, I wasn't this, that, and the other. That's a lie. There's no place where anybody can say that I wasn't coachable. I worked harder than anybody I know. You know what I'm saying? I have to train 3 times a day on the off season. When I came to camp,
you made the guys next to you better. I mean, you went to Washington, you became a Pro Bowler, but I think Lavender, the other corner, became one too immediately, where he hadn't been before.
Hey, true. Well, the Redskins had all pros back then. We played everybody man to man. We played.
Yeah, you had Kenny Houston. Kenny Houston's one of the great defensive backs that ever lived, also.
The greatest strong safety I ever known. I've seen him do some things that was unreal. You know what I'm saying? He could play all aspects of the game. Run support, play the pass. He could play it all. You know what I'm saying? And in fact, when I went to the Redskins, we called him the General. And, he was the man. Kenny Houston was phenomenal. And then we had Jake Scott, who was all pro. We had Joe Lavender on the other corner. And we had myself on the left side, so that we didn't care about passing teams. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we wanted you to pass because we knew we had in the secondary.
Yeah. All right. Now, you retired after 1981, wasn't it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. After 81, you retired. A lot of players find that they have trouble adjusting to life outside of football. What was that like for you?
I did. You know that I went through a drug addiction for about 10 years. You understand what I mean? That I couldn't get it together. And after those 10 years, I volunteered myself to go to treatment to really get help for myself. I did so that I had some good people behind me. I had my family, I had my brother, I had my mentor who was Dan Calloway, and I had a friend in Chattanooga, Tennessee that really supported me. His name was Jack Lupton, and his wife supported me. And I went back to school. I got my degree, and I worked for the mayor of Chattanooga. From there, I taught school, and I became the head football coach at my alma mater. But I did have my problems for a long time there. I just couldn't get it together because I always thought I could do anything for myself. You know, so I was headstrong, and I found out that I could not do it by myself, that I needed professional help. So I had good people around me. I had family members. I had brothers. I had mentors, like I said. And I checked myself into treatment. I volunteered myself there for 4 months. After the 4 months was up, I felt like that I wanted to give myself the best chance in life to overcome my addiction. So I volunteered another year in what we call transition. That's getting back in the mainstream of society, you know what I'm saying? Taking responsibility, taking charge of your life, you know what I mean? And doing things a little bit differently. And I did that. So I went back to school. I got my degree in physical education, psychology, and the rest is history. I really have some great support behind me, and that was a lot to those people. And I always thank them. I always will. But as of today, Lemar is fine, that I'm doing well, and I talked to a lot of the guys that I played with, and we all reminisce and talk stuff. It's like I talked to Isaac Curtis the other day, Gary Burley, and all those guys, Billy Brooks. We talk all the time. So do we stay in touch?
Yeah, I'm trying to get Isaac on here. Gary's trying to get him for me, so you might want to put in a good word for me there.
Hey, well, I tell you what, I will, because Isaac Curtis, let me tell you, he's underrated. You know what I mean?
All those Bengals were, because they got caught up. I mean, Kenny Anderson's underrated. when you compared him with Terry Bradshaw. I mean,
Hey,
you switched their situations. Anderson would have won more Super Bowls. He was better than Bradshaw, I think.
yes, he was. I tell you what, the Ken Anderson was phenomenal. He was something else. He could throw the ball as accurate as anybody that I ever played with or played against. But
Isaac's problem was Isaac was so smooth doing everything, it never looked like he was trying.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather play against Lynn Swan twice a week than play against Isaac Curtis once a year. You know what I'm saying? Because
Lynn Swan, I mean, let's face it, with his numbers, he's kind of like Joe Namath. He's in the Hall of Fame for one or two things he did in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. But I played him 7 years. You know, he never beat me for a touchdown. I played him man-to-man. So look that up. You know what I mean? He was great in his own right, taking nothing from him. But Isaac Curtis was better because of his speed, his smoothness, his moves, and stuff like that. Isaac Curtis brought fear in your heart because of that speed that he had. Swan could not outrun me. If you could not run me, then I didn't think you could beat me.
Yeah. So does it bother you that you're not in the Hall of Fame?
Well, a little bit it does because I've been overlooked so long, you understand what I mean? Because I put up the numbers. If you check my stats, there aren't too many people in the Hall of Fame that got defensive backs. I'm talking about corners, not safeties, that have the stats that I have. I led the league in every category that you have. Punt returns, kickoff returns, pass interceptions. I did it all, you understand? I was a complete ball player from top to bottom.
Yeah, and I think if you get your return stats and all that and you match it up to Deion, blow his ass completely out of the water also.
Oh, yes. Well,
Plus, you could tackle somebody.
Hey, yes, I could. Playing for Paul Brown, you know what I mean? I got to give him a lot of credit. Say that he had a system that was phenomenal. And Mike Brown was good also. You understand what I mean? I have any hard feeling toward those guys. In fact, then I always talk to them. I always praise them, you know what I'm saying, for giving me the chance, the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to excel, to become the cornerback that I were. And, hey, you know, in fact, I talked to Mike recently, about 6 months ago, I guess, when he was sick. I called him to see how he was doing, and we had a great conversation. But Mike has always been good to me. You know what I'm saying? If I needed anything, that I called him, and, shoot, you know, he never hesitated. You know what I'm saying? He always sent it to me.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Do you watch the Bengals today? Do you watch the NFL still?
I do.
So what's your take on guys like Pac-Man Jones and Dre Kirkpatrick?
I don't have any comments on those guys because they're getting the job done, I guess. You know what I mean? I have my my take on athletes because I watch the game. I watch techniques. I watch fundamentals. I watch the way they play the game. The enthusiasm and stuff like that. So I don't have anything to say against those guys. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, how about this? Let's just do an entire overview. DBs today, do you think technically they're as good as DBs when you played? No.
Hey, not by far, because one thing about back in the day, if you take the male belongs to me, Ken Riley, and all of it, we learned techniques and fundamentals. When I see the guys running sideways, running back before the ball is snapped and all kind of stuff like that, I disagree with that. You understand me? My thing is, when you turn sideways, when you turn facing one way, you're vulnerable to the other pass route. We were taught to maintain our distance of 3 yards, 1 yard to the inside, and maintain that and be able to break on anything that you could throw. That's the short, the medium, and the deep. You know, we challenged everything back in the day. In fact, we learned how to play several ways: bump and run, catch position, off position. You understand? We played 3 ways, all depending on the opponent. You understand? I mean, how I had to plan, because I became a student of the game. You understand? I studied my opponent. I had a notebook on on all the receivers that I played. I kept a history on how they like to come off the line, how they like to run certain routes, and etc. So today I don't see guys doing those things. You understand me? But I see defensive backs, not all of them, because you have some just they just still stay in their back to the set, etc. You know, my thing was the Chuck Weber thing was stay in that back pedal as long as you can. You understand? I mean, keep that guy 3 yards in front of you, and once he come out, break that cushion down to 2 yards, you got to come out that back pedal dead. But we was told to keep those guys at base so that we could break on anything that you run, the short, the medium, and the deep. So, that's where I see the differences.
And that difference has got more to do with coaching than the actual player, I would think.
I think so, yes, because those guys that, they're teaching the defensive backs today, they evidently they didn't play the game. You know what I mean? They just read things and saw things and running back like this. But we had coaches that taught fundamentals and techniques, how to do this, where to be, how to be there, and etc. You know what I mean? It was repetition every day. Every day that we had a routine that we had to go through with Chuck Weber. So, you know, that's the difference. Know that the defensive backs today is not as good as we were back then.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if you look at the guys back then, I mean, especially Kenny Houston, Mel Blount, yourself, Kenny Riley, I mean, and the thing that's bad is when you look at the Hall of Fame, defensive back is probably the position that gets more overlooked than any other position.
Hey, yeah, but let me tell you this. Now the Hall of Fame, let's talk about the Hall of Fame because this really behooves me. I see guys going in the Hall of Fame just because they played on Super Bowl. That don't mean you're great.
Yeah.
Hey, that means that you played on a winning team. And we all know that there's great athletes on all teams, especially myself. You know what I mean? I played on a team that was good, but we wasn't great. You know what I mean? But you have great players there. You know what I mean? Check the history of the Bengals out there, but one guy in the Hall of Fame in the existence of the franchise. That's Munoz, and that was really, really absurd to me. And
the Munoz thing was kind of a no-brainer. They couldn't keep him out, and it seems to be the only way a Bengal gets in.
Hey, that's the only way, but it shouldn't be that way because the playing field is not level.
Yeah, I mean, you look at yourself, you got, 46, 47 interceptions. You got 13 or 14 returns for touchdowns. You got Kenny Riley, who's in the 60s with interceptions. And you guys don't even get brought up anymore.
Hey, but let me tell you, see, this interceptions don't always tell the story. You understand me?
I know, because if they want to stay away from you, you don't get as many opportunities.
There you go. Look at the great ones. Look at the Mel Blount and the Dion and all those guys. Look at their interception ratio. You understand? I mean, the thing is, when you throw it over there enough times, they're gonna get it so many times out of how many times they throw it over there. My thing is that I mastered the deep ball. You didn't throw the deep ball on me. You understand me? Because I really ain't got that. So, yes. I am a little bit bitter about it because I see guys going in because they played on a Super Bowl team. He played on a Super Bowl, yeah, but what did he do? What kind of numbers did he put up? Was anybody scared of him? Did they fear him? Those are things that you have to monitor in when you pick up a great player. You understand me? Look at the Mel Blounts and the Dions. They didn't want to throw the ball that much. You understand me?
Yeah. I mean, you look at like Robert Brazile. Robert Brazile was Lawrence Taylor before Lawrence Taylor was.
Yes, he was. Robert Brazile.
And he gets completely ignored. I mean, his first 8 years, he was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Hey, Robert Brazile was phenomenal. He was the first prototype linebacker that I saw. He was big, he was strong, he was fast, he was dominant, and I just don't know that some guys just get overlooked. And I'm one of those guys.
Yeah, and with Robert, I mean, and it's an absolute joke.